Hey, this is David for BigBits, and in this video I want to take a look at alt seasons and kind of a little conspiracy theory I have going on as to when the next one might be occurring, and it might be pretty soon because there are some things that are happening with the altcoin ratios compared to Bitcoin that might suggest that an alt season is kind of around the corner and maybe pretty soon around the corner as well. So I'm also going to be sharing that I have an announcement coming up, and I don't know if I'm going to give very many details about it now, but on the day of the halving here coming up, I'm going to release a short video with something pretty cool in it. So if you have followed my channel since before 2019, so back in 2018 and 2017, then you're probably going to be pretty happy with what I'm doing. And even if you are fairly new, then I think it's going to be probably even more relevant. But for the people who were around before 2019, it kind of goes back to some of the roots on this channel, some of the things we did back then. Although it's not entirely the same, we're going to do some very similar stuff, and we're going to be working with a lot of the things we're working with now and making some really cool stuff, and I can't wait to share that with you all very soon. But I want to get back to the video itself, back to the alt seasons and kind of what my thoughts are. Now, one of the main things that I notice before alt seasons actually occur, and if you're not familiar with an alt season, that's when the general altcoin market, just about any coin you pick out will be doing well compared to Bitcoin. And this is a Litecoin versus Bitcoin chart. And you can see this would probably be characterized as an alt season. The price just kind of continued to go up very, very quickly. You can see it went all the way from 0.003 to what, 0.0252122 almost. So there was a huge bullish movement for Litecoin versus Bitcoin. This happens with a lot of other altcoins, and I can tell you why I think we might be getting kind of close to one, and kind of give you my conspiracy theory on why that might be true. But first of all, I did want to mention that you can kind of compare these side by side. Now, this is the previous bull run from the end of 2016 all the way up to the beginning of 2018, and you can kind of see there are some correlations back here. So in the beginning, you can see that as Bitcoin went up, the Litecoin ratio versus it kind of just went down, and there really wasn't much of any interesting sort of thing going on with the Litecoin ratio. But however, when we get to around here, which is I believe around the time that the previous all-time high was broken, you'll notice that as the Bitcoin price starts to drop, the Litecoin ratio continues to climb. Now, of course, this doesn't mean necessarily that Litecoin is going up in price versus the dollar. It just means that versus Bitcoin, it's worth more. So if you're wanting to flip your altcoins into more Bitcoin, that's kind of how you would do it. You trade it versus Bitcoin. Now, from this point forward, it also started gaining more as Bitcoin gained more. So throughout this huge run up, it gained quite a bit more, and at some point it cooled off, as you can see here, during the middle of all that, and it kind of lost some value. And then back towards the peak, as the value went down on Bitcoin versus the dollar, the Litecoin ratio went up. And then as Bitcoin went up, it went up as well. It went down, and then it also went up. So there's going to be a lot of volatility and fluctuation. But what I'm going to be getting at is catching these really, really deep bottoms with the huge jump ups, and why I think that might possibly be coming up. And of course, there is no financial advice here whatsoever. I'm just kind of seeing a pattern and kind of taking a look at what's going on. So let's actually go to the current chart. All right, so we can see there's a pretty big theme here. The Bitcoin price has been shooting up, and the altcoin ratio has just been nosediving. Now, before that, the and I'm sorry, my head is in the way on this one because it's in the bottom. But you can see as the Bitcoin price was going up, the altcoin ratio just completely dropped out through the bottom. Now I'm actually going to move my head so this actually looks decent. You can actually kind of see what's going on. You can see this continued downtrend on the altcoin ratio here with Litecoin. Now, I'm not going to be looking at dominance because that's too wide of a basket. I'm going to look at the major altcoins, and Litecoin's a good one to look at for that. Let's zoom back out a bit. You can see, for the most part, it's just generally been going down. Aside from this period here, the Litecoin halving, I believe, was in the middle of 2018. So it kind of got its own pump during that time versus the dollar, and also Bitcoin then also pumped as well. So ignoring that, one of the things that we're looking for here are these sharp bottoms. And I like to call this kind of flushing people out. This is a capitulation, and they have very steep drops in the price, in the ratios. And what we can see right now is we are having a very steep drop in the ratio with the Litecoin price versus Bitcoin. And going back, I mean, this is pretty large move. This is a very large move, even larger so than this one. Than a lot of these other ones, although this one is very similar. So there's absolutely no guarantee that this is going to happen, and it won't just do like this and continue going down for a very long period of time. But there's a lot of things that are going to come into play with my little conspiracy theory here, and that is that the halving has a lot to do with this. And we all know, well, everybody in crypto for the most part should know that the Bitcoin halving is happening around May 11th. Now, there has been some recent news, some recent large news, and I'll bring my face back on here. There has been some recent large news that one of the largest investors, Paul Tudor, has basically shown people that he is largely invested into Bitcoin as a hedge against inflation. So there's news like this coming out right before the halving. The price is pumping ridiculously high compared to where it was at just 3.8K just 2 months ago. And what's going to happen is the halving will generate press. Bitcoin is going to be in the news pretty big, especially if the price continues to pump, and that kind of goes with my conspiracy theory. And a lot of the trading that I have learned on these larger time frames like this is that you should probably think like the market maker. And if I were the market maker, what would I do to make the most profit? Well, I've already made a killing on Bitcoin over the last couple of months. Once I started buying in, prices done nothing but go up. I know the halving is right around the corner. So what I'm going to do is, since that's going to generate a lot of news, I'm actually going to pump the price as it's kind of been doing. Get people super excited about it because, oh my goodness, the halving is occurring. The price is up over 100% in the last 2 months, over 300 or 200%, yeah, or 2 or 300%. So the price is up 2 or 300% already just in the last 2 months. The halving's occurring. There's probably going to be people who haven't thought about Bitcoin for a while who are going to get back into it. And honestly, this is probably a good time very soon for a fairly natural pullback. Now, it doesn't have to be here at 10, 10.5, 11. It could be anywhere, but we're probably due for some sort of natural pullback anyway after a huge, just pretty much straight up move like this. But what I think is going to happen, instead of these market makers taking their Bitcoin and taking profits in US dollars, they are also probably going to consider taking their profits in altcoins. The ratios are super low, and I showed you the chart here, like compared to the all-time lows here, and I'm going to disregard that candle, but compared to the all-time lows here, the ratios are pretty good if you were to buy for a long-term hold expecting this to move up. And if you're the market maker, you kind of have a lot of control over that. So and not that market maker is any one person, but you kind of get a feeling that as somebody who can help kind of push the market in certain directions, that maybe this isn't that bad of a time. So what might happen is that people sell off their Bitcoin on this massive news that the halving has occurred, and they take profit by buying altcoins to try and flip, and they're going to try to flip the altcoins into more Bitcoin. So that kind of goes back to this 2018 2017 kind of cycle we had going. And let me zoom back out here, where you can see right here, I believe it was, is when Bitcoin broke its all-time high. And the altcoin ratio for Litecoin here started going up even as the price of Bitcoin went down. So that kind of tells you that people were taking their Bitcoin and they were probably buying altcoins with it. And then not too long after that, things got really bullish and the price went up for both. So something like that could happen again. You can get this halving to occur while we're down here at the bottom, perhaps, on these ratios. And then after the halving, people take profit and you get this kind of nice smooth run up. And then Bitcoin starts going up. But then people are also noticing, hey, these altcoins are doing really good. And they start putting their money in those as well. So you could really get something like this going on. And considering that the market caps are much smaller for altcoins, the order book sizes are probably much less. The bang for your buck is probably going to be more so with these altcoins. So there's a lot of reasons that this kind of stuff actually happens. But I know I've went on for a little while about this, but I just want you all to see what I'm trying to convey here is that we might be going through one of these sharp corrective periods, and there might be something coming up because of that. And considering that the ratios are already pretty low, it might be pretty soon. I want to switch down into a 5-minute chart here, and you can see things are going to be pretty volatile. Now this could potentially be a bottom. That's a very violent reaction to that sell-off here, and who knows, that might be the bottom for Litecoin, and we're calling it today. But honestly, the thing is to just kind of keep an eye out for these huge bounces, and particularly I wouldn't worry about it too much on the 5-minute chart like I have it here, because there's other bounces, although maybe not quite as steep as this one. I would look for something on the daily chart for myself, that is, and I know I'm in the way and I keep getting in the way. I would look for something kind of on the daily chart for myself, and I don't know, I've got a pretty good feeling about this one, but that's famous last words, right? It is kind of a conspiracy, and it's all just kind of conjecture, just thinking out loud here as to what might happen. I just kind of want to share this with you all because I'm actually seeing this kind of sentiment in other places around crypto Twitter and some other communities that I visit, that they think that maybe now is a good time to get some of these altcoins. Now, as I said, they could continue to go down, so I'm definitely not giving you any financial advice to do anything about it. I'm just kind of sharing my ideas here with you, and maybe feel the same way. But I think that's all for this particular video. Please look forward to the announcement. There's a giveaway posted already on the Discord and the Twitter. I'm probably going to be doing another video where we address that again later, but I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to discuss before we go on. But the announcement on the day of the halving is going to be a pretty good announcement. I can't wait to share that with you all and get back to work with some of you all who are helping. Now, I will give you a bit of a hint. If any of you all are interested in C# or .NET programming, then this project will interest you very much. But otherwise, if you're interested in TradingView and alerts, it'll interest you very much as well. So I think that's going to be it for this video. I think if you like the video, please leave a like, and if you sat through all of this, hopefully you enjoy the channel, and you'll subscribe if you haven't already while you're down there, hopefully giving a like. And other than that, that's it for this one. Look forward to something else probably tomorrow, and then the announcement coming up. But other than that, have a nice day.